We are back with another monthly wrap-up of some of the weird, bizarre, and even scary news to come out of Japan over the last month. So what happened over the last month or so? Let's take a look. Number 1. What better way to start the month than with some toilet news? This month, a sign in Nokonoshima Island Park in Fukuoka made waves online for how adorable it was. Just look at it. While the poor little guy on the sign wasn't able to reach the toilet in time, he's at least pointing the way so you don't make the same mistake he did. It turns out these signs have actually existed at the park for the last 10 years, but it's only just recently that they've gone viral. According to the director of the park's general management, they've officially dubbed the sign, "I didn't make it in time, but the toilet is over there, kun." Bit of a mouthful, but it gets the point across. They designed the signs this way because the park sees a lot of foreigners, so they wanted them to be easy to understand, but also somewhat amusing. I'd say they succeeded. Number 2. I dare say we can all empathise somewhat with this next one. On April 30th, a case was filed with Kyoto police involving 2 men from the Kyoto District Legal Affairs Bureau. One man in his 50s had assaulted a colleague for doing something horrifically unconscionable. He spoiled a popular manga before he himself got to read it. Naturally, I don't condone violence, but according to reports, the employee in his 50s grew agitated when his colleague spoiled parts of the manga Oshinoko that he himself hadn't been able to read yet, back in February. Having his beloved manga spoiled before he could enjoy it annoyed him so much that he reportedly grabbed his colleague by the shirt and assaulted him. Neither man suffered any injuries, but it's probably safe to say they won't be discussing manga by the water cooler anymore. Number 3. If you've ever had to deal with constant distractions during your workday, then you'll probably understand how the police in this next one felt. It was reported that a 55-year-old woman of no fixed address was arrested on May 15th on suspicion of obstructing business under false pretenses. The business she was obstructing? Why, the police themselves. Reportedly, the woman spent a week in December last year, the 20th to the 27th to be precise, making around 1,200 harassing phone calls to the police in Kanagawa Prefecture. Some of the things she reportedly said while on the phone was, "Why did you answer?" and "Merry Christmas, die." When they finally arrested her and asked her why she did it, she simply said, "I don't remember." Number 4. An interesting discussion started on Japanese Twitter this month, discussing the differences in what scares American audiences and Japanese audiences. In particular, it was once pointed out that Americans apparently find Japanese crimes to be quite brutal, because they tend to involve knives. This, it seemed, gave many an understanding of why American slasher films are so popular. After all, if knives are viewed as a horribly brutal way to commit a crime, then naturally, a film involving someone running around and slashing up the cast is obviously going to be terrifying to that audience. So, what does this tell us about Japanese ghosts? Number 5. Times have been rough for organised crime lately, and last month it was reported that a 56-year-old unemployed man and a 39-year-old senior member of the Sumiyoshi-kai Takinogawa clan were arrested for breaking into a building in Saitama and stealing Pokemon cards. The men reportedly stole 25 Pokemon cards with a total worth of around 250,000 yen on December 29th last year. That might seem like an odd choice for members of the Yakuza to steal, but Pokemon cards can sell for a decently high price, are small and easy to lift, and they can't really be traced either. The Yakuza boss has admitted to stealing the cards, while the other man is reportedly denying the charges. Number 6. In this month's weird products, have you ever thought to yourself, "Man, I love the taste of salt, but I'd sure love to not have to actually eat it"? Well, fear no more, Japan has you covered. Kirin Holdings has just released the Eleki Salt Spoon, a fascinating device that creates an electrical field inside your mouth as you're eating. Why on earth would you want this? Well, apparently to the brain, that sensation somehow tastes just like salt. There is actual science behind it, but basically they hope it can encourage people to eat less sodium and make healthier meals, while still enjoying the same delicious salty taste. This electric spoon will cost you a cool 19,800 yen, although it's so far limited to only 200 units, and buyers will be picked through a lottery to receive their spoons this June. We're living in the future. Number 7. On a somewhat related note, on May 22nd, Mr. Donuts in Japan issued a formal apology. What were they apologizing for? Well, selling their meat pies without any actual meat in them. Whoops. Apparently, between October of last year and April of this year, their melty 4 cheese and meat pie certainly contained 4 cheeses, but was distinctly lacking in the meat part. Instead, a soy-based meat substitute was used instead. Thankfully, this was actually listed in the allergy information, but those thinking they were getting real meat and not a soy substitute were no doubt suitably disappointed. Perhaps most interesting, however, is that over 6 months, neither the public nor the company themselves noticed that it wasn't actually meat. Number 8. A news broadcast about 2 men breaking into a home and stealing money and personal items caught the attention of viewers this month for a very different reason. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to watch it for yourself. But around the 45-second mark, suddenly, a window on the 2nd floor of the house appears to move all by itself. While some suggested it had to be police who were investigating, it remains creepy because the curtain behind it doesn't move at all, nor is there any visible sign of a person or hand. How could a window possibly open without the curtain behind it moving even a little? This one still remains unexplained. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Number 9. This next one I actually watched happen in real time, which was interesting. On May 3rd, flute player Shibata Toshiyuki posted a tweet asking if anyone knew who these girls were. We can see 5 girls in uniform, standing with Anthony Romanuik, a Belgian-based musician. It was apparently taken in Osaka in 2006, and it was the girls who approached him to take a photo. Because Romanuik was back in town and he showed Shibata the photo, they were wondering if they could find them again and invite them to their recital the next day. Twitter immediately got to work and did its thing, and a mere 4 hours later, the girls had been identified. Turned out, the girls were members of the idol group Fanta Peace, and an acquaintance of one of the members said they would get in contact with one of the girls. She confirmed it was indeed her in the photos, but the women now all lived in different places, so it would be difficult for them to go to the recital on such short notice. But they were grateful that Romanuik still had the photo and thought of contacting them. It sure is a small world. Number 10. Finally this week, a new meme was born when a Twitter user posted they were looking around their old neighborhood on Google Street View, and there they found their now deceased grandfather walking around. While heartwarming and melancholy, this led to others sharing photos from Street View, and one in particular took off. The one you can see here. Found this in Street View. It's probably the start of some new school leaders. The girls' poses caught people's attention, and you just have to check the quotes to see some amazing art done in that same style from numerous fandoms. I'll leave a link in the description again if you want to check it out and maybe even add your own art to it. But this is a trend I can definitely get behind. And that's just some of the weird, bizarre, terrifying, and also kind of funny news that came out of Japan last month. But what about you guys? Hear of anything odd or terrifying? Weird or funny? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.